I was just saying over there, I'm approaching this season with a lot of trepidation because I think what I don't want to do is sort of just continue on some random version of Walter, that it needs to be very clearly directed towards the end goal, towards the end game. And so I'm actually preoccupied now thinking about how do we take the first steps. Because we already kind of set up in that is the transit that he got some brain matter, but he also turned into kind of a mean man then. I don't want to play him as a mean man the rest of the time. That wouldn't work. So seriously, I'm thinking seriously about how to finesse this character. It's an interesting challenge, and there's nowhere to go. I mean, we're not in a position now where we can take side steps and get away with it 2 seasons later. It's really going to be challenging, but it's so totally worth it because nobody gets the honour we've got, which is to finish off a story. Like, it doesn't happen in literature and television literature. So it's a bit scary, really.
With the portal closed, does that mean their audience is starting to keep track of multiple characters that will just be one?
I think the portal's closed.
Right. So
I think there's always an awareness in our history and our culture that the other universe is there. And for viewers that we may reference them, for those viewers that watch everything. As far as I know, we're not going back there.
So you as an actor just said to be one version of yourself.
Yeah, well, one of them. Walter's had about 13 different versions, but this will be, I guess it'll be a culmination, but he's got to become much clearer, and he's got to overcome his demons. He literally has to stop going off on tangents. He's got to stop feeling sorry for himself and going into depression, and he's got to be at his very best. So we'll see the best of Walter this year. That's what I'm aiming for.
What's been your favorite version? Do you have a favorite?
I kind of have a lot of favourites, really. The first Walter was the first random Walter with all of his. He had no social graces. He actually didn't know what was going on. He didn't even know how to love his son. But he was such a real human being. And it's from him that I bounced everything else off. But he could also get away with murder. I mean, and I did, whatever I wanted to say or do, really worked. So he's the Walter that we remember.
Now, going into the season, you seem to have rebooted sort of the environment or the character stuff. So, how do you feel this new environment is? Does the show feel different in a major way, obviously?
Well, we haven't started shooting yet. But
you haven't.
But here's the thing. The great thing about this is for the first time we've got a common enemy, we. And that's when people come to their best and bond at their best and forget their petty differences. And so what we have to do is we have to come together. And that'll make the team more cohesive and more directed than ever before. And we'll be like insurgents. We will be the underground party. That's going to be... we've never had that before. And it's a great story, isn't it? It's sort of like, how does the world cope with the common enemy? And I've hoped for years that we would go there. So that's where we are now. And we need to win our world back from those that have taken over. And that's the whole thing for us. Last season.
Do you think as far as Walter remembering everything that happened before Peter got the race is important personally to you? Or in general, do you think we get a chance to see that happen on the show? Or is that kind of like a foregone conclusion that it's never going to happen?
What we need to do is to choose to recall certain events that we need to move forward. So what we will have to do as a team is find a way to research events from the past. And I don't want to spoil that how we'll do it, but we have a way of doing it. where we go back and we discover ways that things that happened, ways that we dealt with them, technology that was around, and we gather this stuff in for all sorts of reasons through research. And it's almost like today we would Google it. We can't, so we're going to get the all back. That makes that research is a major part of it, and getting the missing links that we don't have to resolve the issue. So that's obviously going to go back into it.
That would be pretty neat. Just to get, it's a good way of
it's a great way. Yeah, it is. It's a great way to complete a story that people have been following. And people will recognise, oh my God, yes, that worked there, and now they're going to use that piece of technology or something here. It'll be really cool.
Yeah, because I think a lot of obviously last season was fantastic, but if people had to say anything about it, was that they find it hard to engage that Walter doesn't fully know who Peter is before he arrives, but it would be good to actually
No, I tell you what I want, and what Joshua wants, is we want to re-establish the father-son relationship that was absolutely critical to the success of season 1 and 2. And it's still the thing that's talked about right now. So both Joshua Jackson are pulling so hard to make that happen. I know that will work emotionally for the fans as well, but also from our point of view as actors, we actually loved it. We worked so hard on the relationship. We would sit for hours working out the details of how to play that realistically. So hopefully that will be something we can handle this season.
Have you kind of wrapped your brain around about shooting the last episode and walking away from Fringe after filming it?
No, not really. It will, because we've got the time and because we're actually completing the story, I don't think it's going to be one of those business, oh my God. Bear in mind, we know that the final time they call cut, that's it. So that it'll be emotional, but I hope it'll be triumphant. Yes, we did it. That sort of feeling. We did it. And we completed the story the way we wanted to. That'll be a triumph if we can get. That's what I'm saying. I've got trepidation. That's what's going to be really hard. I can't imagine that this won't be the hardest 6 months of our lives. But it'll be worth it.